Lara Croft, hero, survivor, icon. Now, after 17 years and more than 35 million copies sold worldwide, Tomb Raider has been reborn. Tonight, we'll meet the new Lara Croft, Camilla Luddington, and talk with the designers and composer who have reimagined a legend. From rewriting the origins of Lara Croft to creating a whole new tale of survival, we take an inside look at what the Today Show, the VGAs, Forbes, and Yahoo have called one of this year's most anticipated games. It's a new era for an enduring franchise. This is Tomb Raider: The Final Hours, a story of survival. Hey, Jeff Keighley here, and welcome to GTTV Presents Tomb Raider: The Final Hours, a story of survival. Coming up, we'll meet the creators and take an inside look at one of the most anticipated games of this year. Luckily, I do have some help tonight. You've seen her on Grey's Anatomy, Californication, and True Blood, and now she is the new Lara Croft. Camilla Luddington, thanks for inviting me to your forest here on Yamata.
My Leia, yes, you're welcome.
So, you got this role of Lara Croft, which obviously is incredible, but how did you get it?
Well, it was 3 auditions, and I remember hearing that the project was called Cryptids. I did not know that it was Tomb Raider, and the character's name was Sarah. And I went thinking that the character breakdown kind of sounded like Lara Croft, so I actually wore shorts.
You were on to them.
Yeah, I wore shorts and boots in. And in the last audition, I remember they watched us and filmed us running and jumping and crawling and stumbling just to see our motions.
So when you finally found out this was Lara Croft and you got this role, I mean, you must have gone crazy.
To have gotten the role of such an iconic British video game character was completely overwhelming. Well,
tonight is the night, and Tomb Raider is certainly a storied franchise with a rich history. Here's a trip down memory lane with Tomb Raider.
If I had to describe Tomb Raider in one word, it would be epic.
17 years ago, Tomb Raider exploded onto the scene and changed the gaming industry overnight.
The game itself was like taking the 2D games that we were used to and playing in these 3D spaces.
I believed. When I was in Tomb Raider, I was down in caves, I was doing what I was doing, and it was absolutely beautiful.
But it wasn't just the graphics, it was the gameplay that changed the gaming landscape.
It was this nice balance between combat and exploration.
Gamers also connected with the game's hero. The female adventurer bucked industry conventions to become a gaming icon.
She's strong, she's tough, she's athletic, she's a beautiful woman. She stands the test of time.
She is the most iconic female character in video games.
You just see Lara Croft as part of popular culture, and she has taken a life on beyond video games. She's iconic.
What made Tomb Raider so wildly successful and addictive was dynamic traversal, desperate combat, and a smart, resourceful heroine, Lara Croft. These were the 3 pillars the developers at Crystal set out to embrace. But one thing was clear: it was time to shake things up. This would be a Tomb Raider for a new generation.
When all seemed lost, I knew what I must become.
I'm here at Crystal Dynamics with Carl Stewart, the global brand director on this rebirth of Tomb Raider. Tell me about the conception of this as an origin story.
You know, for us, taking a step back and looking at who this character is, it was all about bringing her to life for today's audience. And it always harked back to, what if this was her first adventure? What if this was the opportunity to reimagine Lara Croft?
Was the stuff that like Chris Nolan did with Batman, was that an inspiration to sort of say, hey, we want to start from scratch?
Yeah, you know, the first 20, 30 minutes, it wasn't about Batman. It was about a man who was flawed. That sort of showed us how you could build upon a character and then reimagine it halfway through and people would actually have a connection.
I'm here with Daryl Gallagher, the head of studio. Tell us a bit about your vision when you started on this new Tomb Raider 4 years ago.
Humanizing Lara was a big goal, making it feel like that she could be somebody that you knew, make it more of a mature take on the genre, but at the same time, this was about that character-defining journey that turns it into the Tomb Raider at the end.
Obviously there is some risk in that you guys are changing the game up a little bit. I mean, is there any trepidation about how people will respond to this?
I think there always is. We knew that from day one. You know, if we had gone down the road of just trying to please everybody by doing the same thing we've always done, then Tomb Raider would have just been sort of put aside and the franchise would have been looked at. And we spent a lot of time making sure that it still feels like a Tomb Raider game no matter what happens.
I'm here with Brian Horton, the art director on Tomb Raider. There's obviously a long history of Lara Croft's, and you wanted to do something different, though.
Absolutely. We looked at this as, all right, how does a 21-year-old version of Lara look? So we went through 40, 50 pieces of concept art to try to figure out what that would look like. So we finally nailed the look that we had. So what we tried to do is find the essence of who she was and just boil that down to a much more believable package.
Well, when you start this game, I mean, you know, there's the shipwreck, the Endurance, Laura's on this island, and I mean, it really is like she's learning how to survive.
Yeah, she is, as you said. So she starts with nothing. She ends up getting a bow for the first time, and she has to kill a deer because she's hungry.
Sorry.
So when we get to the first human kill, she's done this for the first time. She's got to do it many more times by the end of this game. And she's not going to be the same person she was when she first started out.
Sam, listen, I'm gonna get you out of there.
So the idea of the Endurance crew members and being able to interact with them all throughout the adventure was important to us. So all that stuff feeds into our whole character progression.
At the end of the day, she's got to become Lara Croft.
You can do it, Laura.
In order to get to that moment, you have to see the personal side to her.
After all, you're a Croft.
You have to really understand her.
You just don't know it yet.
What is that moment? How does she become Lara Croft?
Yeah, so I can't spoil it.
Right.
You know, you gotta play it.
Spoiler alert, this gal has a new pair of shoes that kicks major scavenger butt. Find out what it took to step into the role of the iconic Lara Croft.
This was the most emotionally and physically draining work that I'd ever done.
Next. Hey, welcome back to Tomb Raider: The Final Hours, a story of survival. I'm Jeff Keighley from Game Trailers TV, joined by the new Lara Croft herself, Camilla Luddington. So you auditioned to get this role, you get it. How did you go about becoming this new, more realistic Lara?
Well, I think what was nice for me is that it's a reboot of the franchise. So I really wasn't having to go back and look at another performance and match that or even compare myself to that. I had creative, artistic license in making Lara me. And I think that for me personally, it was my first video game. So I was kind of naive walking in, just like she is when she lands on the island. And with my own experience, as it grew over the 3 years of making the game, her own experience on the island grows. So I kind of felt like we went on this journey together. And again, I could kind of make Lara my own.
All right, well, why don't you guys take a look for yourselves at the brand new Lara Croft.
Mayday! Mayday! This is Lara Croft of the Endurance. We are stranded on an island.
This Lara is completely different. Crystal is taking her back to her origins, and we're starting with a girl who's naive and passionate and very adventurous.
I'd finally set out to make my mark.
I was just excited for the physical and emotional challenge of playing this new reimagining of Lara Croft.
Lara Croft of the Endurance. We are stranded on an island in the Dragon's Triangle.
You see in Lara's first kill, it's something that she really struggles with. She's backed into a corner. It's literally a matter of life and death. With this game, we've given her so much heart. You're starting to genuinely care for her, and we're really seeing her evolution over time and her moral compass change when she's being put in such extreme circumstances. And something that I feel that I'm bringing differently as an actress to this is that I get to do the motion capture and the voice, which has never been done before.
All right, let's do this.
This is Noah Hughes, the creative director on the brand new Tomb Raider. Let's talk about mocap, because you do some big action moments in mocap, but you also do, a lot of intimate scenes.
Roth, please come and get me.
Easy. We're regrouping at my location.
We really played with a virtual camera to get an organic feel and make you feel like even as a viewer you were kind of there with them. Part of the goal of bringing out Lara and really getting inside her head benefited from a style that was able to frame Lara in such a way that you were very close to her.
Got to find them.
This was some of the most emotionally and physically draining work that I'd ever done. When I got this role at first, I did not even know that I would be crying so much, or even hurt. I just thought I'd be kicking butt.
Camilla was a trooper, I'll put it that way. She went through a lot to get some of the shots that we needed to get. And the facial was probably the hardest thing to pull off, to really capture that human emotion on Lara's face.
You're wearing a helmet with a camera right here, and you're having to do these scenes that are so emotionally draining and ignore all those things. You're using your imagination so much. It was an incredible challenge.
A survivor is born. Lara takes no names or prisoners as she targets the island's scavengers.
You can't save everyone.
There's no other choice. I've got to do this.
And hear all the bells and whistles of the instrument that gives voice to the island. Next.